Hey guys, welcome to a new video, and today I want to talk about a few games I've been playing currently. Wanted to get this video out a while ago, but finally got it together now. All these games are available digital, but I know most of you guys are wanting physical. If the physical's not out yet, it will be out in the future for some of these, so just want to let you guys know. But anyways, guys, let's get right into it. Alright, so kicking off with the Rage of the Dragons Neo. So I played this briefly back in the day when I was kind of introduced to like a lot of MAME arcade games and other games as well. This game I found out was actually a sequel to the Double Dragon Neo Geo game that came out on that system based off of the movie. Now, just to let you guys know, they lost the rights to Double Dragon at the time before this game got complete, so they had to go with their own title, Rage of Dragons. Now, finally, after all these years, I finally have time to play this game. So this is a fighting game that uses a tag system. I don't know if everybody's into like the tag system, but for the most part, I feel like it's really balanced, like kind of on the level of something like the King of Fighters or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. The tag system works really well. I don't really use it that much as I should to kind of strategize, but still, the way it plays out, it really works for this game. I think it even works better in certain games like X-Men vs. Street Fighter and things like that. But no, I'm probably going too far saying that. But still, I like the way it's worked in this game. Now, the action in this game is not crazy fast. But, man, when you get comboed or do combos, they really hit in this game. So definitely something I think a lot of like expert fans will like with this game. But once you learn the systems in this game, I think a lot of people are going to be pulling off some really crazy gameplay. So I'm looking forward to seeing this game get popular in the fighting game community. I don't know where it stands at as of yet, but I can see this game like being played in EVO tournaments. Just my opinion. The only real bad thing I can say about this game is that the final boss is terrible. Like, I cannot beat this guy. Like, I've tried like at least like 30 times and he's gotten me every time. Like, I don't know what the gimmick is to beat him, but if you guys have beaten him before, let me know, because I feel like this is one of those games where people probably haven't seen like the ending that much. But anyways, definitely something to keep your eye out for. Also, the game is out now, but if you're looking for that physical edition, it's coming out on the Switch, PS5, and the Neo Geo MVS and AES systems. From what I've seen, you can pre-order from Video Games Plus. I'll have a link for that in the description. There'll probably be more places that you can pre-order from, but right now, the only live link I'm seeing is from Video Games Plus, so I'll have that in the description. So here's a cool game from Red Art Games, and this is Macross Shooting Insight for the PS5 and available for the Switch. I think we got one on the PS2 years ago, but I forgot what the subtitle was called. And this is a vertical shooter and I guess somewhat of a twin stick shooter, and I'll kind of explain. So the first part of the game, you can see this is a vertical shooter here. I accidentally shot my missiles off. I didn't know the button layout properly, so gonna restart here because, you know, I hate when that kind of stuff happens in a game I'm not too familiar with. But it starts out pretty simple. You're taking out enemies, you know, and you get to a certain checkpoint. There is dialogue going on between characters, which is cool. But I feel like for me, that was a little bit distracting because like you really got to keep your eyes on everything in this game because you could get overwhelmed. Not bad like a bullet hell shooter or anything like that, but enemies are like shooting a bunch of stuff at you, and it is targeting you. And you kind of move around a little bit slow in the beginning, but you do have a dodge move you can use to kind of get past some bullets and other special attacks. Now, I got to a checkpoint on the first level, and that's when your ship turns into the robot, and that's when it becomes like a twin stick shooter. So you go around targeting enemies. You're trying to clear out the area before you move on, and then after that, you fight the boss, which I was struggling with. But not that it was hard, but it's just taking me a while to get used to this game because I'm used to my shooters being more like super action oriented, but this one's kind of like a more, I don't want to say it's like a take your time type game, but it's just like just got to learn the basics and then, you know, go from there. So definitely a game I feel like I'll be able to get into. I'm just passing the first level as of this video, so sorry I couldn't show you a bit more, but I definitely think from what I've seen so far, this game deserves a physical release, and that's what's happening from Red Art Games. So I believe that release is happening sometime in the summer. You guys should definitely look out for it. Fear the Spotlight. So this is a survival horror game that's actually getting a physical release from, I believe, I Am 8-Bit in probably sometime by summer, maybe later than that. As soon as I saw this game, how it was done graphically, I had to pick it up because it reminds me a lot of the PS1 era. Now, you play as two teens, Vivian and Amy, And for some reason, I don't want to explain too much about it, but they go back to their school at night, which I feel like a school building at night is one of the creepiest things you can ever see, because there's like minimal lighting. It's just like nobody's there, and it's just like just a creep fest. But anyways, they're already in the school. You're trying to get to the library, and they pull out a Ouija board. As soon as that happens, almost things go crazy. Like your friend disappears, you're looking for her, but while you're looking for her in the library, things have changed. Now, there is an event like that happened in the school years ago where these students died in a crash. And when you first see the picture, you know, they look normal, but after the Ouija board incident, you look at the picture, it's all like just, I'll let you guys experience it for yourself. But anyways, everything is transitioning while you're in the library, like things are like widening open, weird doors, things like that. You're trying to find your friend, but there's a fire that starts, and you're trying to escape the fire. So you got to get out of the library. There's another entrance in there that you haven't seen before that takes you to another part of the school. Now, during this other part of the school, there's a spotlight that you have to avoid. And it's just so creepy. It just reminds me of like some nightmares like you probably have as a kid, like a flashing lights or someone chasing you or something like that. This game kind of like unnerved me in a way of reminding me of that type of stuff. I think it's an awesome survival horror game. I'm really into it. I haven't beat it just yet. I know that I was told that if you beat the game, I believe you get to play as the other characters. So looking forward to that. But yeah, definitely a game you should try out now. I bought it on sale on PSN. I had to wait for a sale for it. I forgot how much it was, but definitely worth it, because sometimes right now I don't feel like waiting for a physical release for a game to play it. You know, if they do something that I really like, this is like a homage to what I like in video games, I'm probably going to buy it almost immediately when the price is right, of course. So this one will remind you, old school PS1 game. I think it's closer to Silent Hill than anything. So if you're a big Silent Hill fan, you'll probably definitely like this game.
No, it has to be at school. Yeah, I get a feeling it's close to the spirit world or something. Maybe because there was a tragedy there.
Amy? Where did you go?
Just go home, Viv.
Here is Slam and Roll. So I've been really anticipating this game's release for a long time, and playing this game, it did not disappoint. So most of you guys are familiar, and I've talked about these games a bunch of times on my channel before, but Snow Brothers, Bubble Bobble, Rainbow Islands, even Bang Bang Busters. You'll know what to expect with this game, but this game feels a lot more advanced than those games, and it really just like keeps you hooked. Now, when I first started playing this game, I kind of regret going through the tutorial, because I feel like these type of games, I'll just learn everything on my own, and it kind of took me out of the rhythm. But once I finally got to the arcade mode, I was like, yes, this is in my element. I know where I'm at now. One of the things I like about this game is that as you go through the levels, you'll unlock newer characters as you travel the world. The game has a lot going for it. Music, graphics, characters. I think it'll appeal to a lot of people who love retro style arcade games. The only thing I would say is a caveat is the tutorial mode in the beginning. That kind of like threw me off a little bit. It's not long or anything. It's just like, I just want to hurry and get through it because I want to play the game. But once you get past that, it really takes off. So that's the only like I would say bad thing about the game, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because it's trying to teach you how to play the game. And for those of you who haven't played games like this, you might need a tutorial, but I don't think most people will. The game has around 200 stages, you know, or maybe I think it might be 200 plus stages. Who knows about some extra unlockables? I'll let you guys know when I get through this game. But other than that, I think this game is a must-have. It definitely deserves a physical release, so hopefully that'll happen within the next year or so. We'll see something like that. But it is available digital on the Switch. I believe it's exclusive on Switch and maybe on PC. But definitely add this one to your list. And also too, the boss battles in this game are really a lot of fun, so I think a lot of people will like those. But anyways, co-op game that should be played. Slam and Roll is a must-have.
Extra jump!
Here's Taito Milestones Part 3. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now that this is where Volume 1 I should have started at with the games in this collection. So starting off, we got Bubble Bobble, fantastic game. This is probably the first game from the company that I played back in the day. I still remember playing this back in 2nd grade when my friend let me borrow it. But this is an arcade perfect port, so definitely use those credits to get to the final boss. The next game, Rainbow Islands, which is my favorite out of the Bubble Bobble series. This is the true sequel to Bubble Bobble. This game doesn't get a lot of recognition, but it's still my favorite in the series, and definitely cool to have an arcade port here. Rostan Saga is a game I never really played before, but my buddy Joel has high praise for it. I played a bit of it, and I thought it was pretty cool. I could see the appeal it had for back in the day. Rostan Saga Part 2 looks kind of weird, but at least this game is co-op. I see you can play 2 players at the same time, but the sprite, the way your character looks, just looks kind of off. But yeah, I definitely prefer the first game over this one, but maybe I'll give this one more of a chance later. Action Championship Wrestler is a pretty good wrestling game that feels like a beat 'em up more than a wrestling game, at least from what I've played, but it definitely reminds me of the old school Saturday Night Main Event, if you guys remember those. Kaddish is an action adventure platform game where you get to play as 4 different warriors. This game was actually supposed to be released on the Taito collection, or Taito Legends, for the PS2, but they cut it out for some reason. But it is on the Xbox version of Part 2. But anyways, it's here now. I don't know how people feel about this game, but I hear a lot of good things about it. So I think it had as a console counterpart on the TurboGrafx, if I remember correctly. But I think some people probably prefer the arcade game, or maybe vice versa, I'm not really sure. But it's on this collection, so if you're looking to play this old school classic, definitely get excited for that. Here's Thunder Fox. So I think I played this game on the Genesis back in the day. Had no idea it had an arcade game. And yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I don't know if I'll be playing it that much in this collection as other games, but still, it's cool to know it's here. My favorite game on this collection is a beat 'em up called Growl, but some people might know it as a Run Arc. I think that was the other name for it. But this is a game where you play as these heroes going against these poachers, like kidnapping animals and beating them up. The whole storyline is pretty, like, it's kind of hilarious, but you can tell they took like inspiration from movies like Indiana Jones with the look. King Solomon's Mines, if anybody remembers that would look like, that kind of was like an Indiana Jones, like, kind of like, wasn't a spin-off, but it was like a, I don't want to say it was a copycat because it was his own thing, but even that movie used some like the same characters. But anyways, this game, pretty dang fun. The Genesis version, compared to this, it pales in comparison to this because you could play like, well, no, actually, I don't know if you could play 4 players on this one, but even so, arcade version is much better, much more fluid, so definitely a lot of people will want to play this game. Here's Warrior Blade, also known as Rastan Saga Part 3. This is probably my favorite out of the 3 games in the series because this one plays more like a beat 'em up. I believe this game was released on the Taito Memories collection back on the Japanese PS2, but never got an official release in America until now. So definitely happy about this game being on the list. You know, as you guys could probably see from this list, the games in these collections are getting a lot better, even though I feel like they should have started out like this. They always start out with the weaker ones first, which is unfortunate because that could mess up sales. But here, I'm going into too much about it. But happy that this game is here. Definitely one of the highlights on this collection. And next up, we have Dead Connection. This is a 2.5D arena shooter that I remember, I think I saw this in arcades. Well, maybe not. I can't remember. But I've seen this before, at least it probably was on MAME, where it was 4 people playing the game at the same time. So it was pretty hectic on the screen. This is one of those games that's going to suck up your quarters because there's so much stuff happening at once. You know, you can hardly tell what's going on, but it's still what I would call chaotic fun. Now, you play as a detective. His wife gets murdered, and you're out for revenge. So you go up and shoot up these mafia guys, clubs, hotels, all kind of casinos, all kind of stuff. But I gotta say, it's awesome to see something like this finally get released in a collection like this. You know, like I feel like these collections are finally getting a lot better, where people will probably want to buy these day one. But yeah, you guys let me know if you played this collection yet, what you think about it. But these are the current games I've been playing on this collection, and I think they are great. Except Rastan 2, that game sucks. Here's Irem Collection Volume 2. So this consists of 3 games, one with a variation, but I want to get started with a shoot 'em up first. So the first game is Air Duel. Now this is a vertical shoot 'em up that I'd never really heard of before. The game was pretty simple, nothing that really stood out to me, you know, besides some familiar things to another game we'll be talking about in a minute. But yeah, cool game to have on this collection. Always down for a shoot 'em up that I've never played before. So definitely one of those ones you could probably like get into. Like it's pretty like a slow burn, I would say. Nothing really much else to say about this one. You know, yeah, if you guys have played it, let me know what you think. Next up is Gun Force, Super Nintendo version. There's a reason why I didn't keep this game on my Super Nintendo from years ago. It's just too slow and boring for me. But still, it could be fun for some people, but for me, just couldn't get into it. Gun Force, the arcade game. So this is obviously much better than the Super Nintendo counterpart. You know, it's a lot more faster action. But at the same time, this game, the levels just look the same, and it's just still kind of boring for me. But it is much better than the Super Nintendo game. Not sure how people will feel about, you know, this game, but still, I mean, it's all right. And now the meat and potatoes of this collection, Gun Force Part 2. This game, freaking amazing. This is the game you're going to want to play immediately on this collection. If you're a fan of Metal Slug, well, hey, this game is for you because this is made by the same people who created that series. So I believe this is like one of their first games they made. But actually, I think it was Gun Force. Then it was that game In the Hunt. If you guys have played that one, that's an awesome game as well. And then this one. But anyways, seriously, guys, you got to play this game almost immediately. It's available now. People have always talked about this game, that it always should have got a physical release. That time is here now and also available digital. So don't miss out on this one, man, because it is super fun. And it shows a lot of potential that they had for the Metal Slug series before it started. So you can pretty much see a lot of ideas that they had for that series when it comes to weapons and enemies and things like that. But man, just definitely you got to try this one out, guys. It is amazing.